Okay, class. So for today, Madam want to show you about lipid. So lipid is a large biological molecule which made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So since it's composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, so lipid mostly can be found in living organism. Okay, and lipid is considered as large biological molecule which does not include as true polymer because lipid is not made up by the repeating monomers just like in polysaccharide or protein. And then lipid also is not big enough to be considered as macromolecule because for triglyceride composed of one glycerol and three fatty acids only. Okay, it does not composed by the hundreds of repeating monomers as like in polysaccharide such as glycogen or cellulose. Okay, and then lipid also cannot be considered as polymer because it not built up by repeating monomers as I have mentioned earlier. Okay, and then lipid is insoluble in water. Okay, but they are soluble in organic solvent. Okay, so the property of lipid which insoluble in water is due to the fatty acid. Okay, because fatty acid composed of long hydrocarbon chain with many CH bond. Alright, and then we have three different types of lipid. The first one is phospholipid, and then we have steroid. Okay, and then we have triglyceride. Triglyceride can exist in two forms, either fat or oil. Okay. Okay, so the first we will look at the phospholipid. So phospholipid consists of the hydrophilic polar head, which made up by choline, the organic molecule choline, and the charged phosphate. Okay, and then it become hydrophilic or polar, so it will facing the aqueous environment, right? Whereas we have the hydrophobic tails or the non-polar tails. Okay, so it becomes non-polar due to the presence of two fatty acids. So these two hydrophobic tails, the first and the second, is composed of diglyceride. Diglyceride means it's made up of one glycerol and two fatty acids. So this fatty acid causing these hydrophobic tails and causing these two tails become hydrophobic or non-polar. And then we move to the steroid. Steroid is consists of four fused carbon ring attached with the side chain. Okay, so this is the side chain of steroid, and each steroid consists of four fused carbon ring. Okay, and the example of steroids such as cholesterol. Cholesterol is to regulate the membrane's fluidity in the cell membrane. Okay, and then we have the other example is sex hormones such as progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone. Okay, and then the last one is triglyceride. Okay, as I have mentioned earlier, triglyceride can exist in the form of fat, which is solid at room temperature, or in the form of oil, which is exists in the liquid state at room temperature. Okay, so triglyceride consists of three fatty acids molecule which link to one glycerol. So the link or the bond between glycerol and three fatty acids we call as ester linkage. So here there are three ester linkages. The first one is here. Okay, and then second one is here. Then the third one, this one. Okay, this is the third ester linkage. So there are three ester linkages because one glycerol linked to three fatty acids. Okay, then there are two different types of triglycerides. Okay, triglycerides can be divided into unsaturated fats or saturated fats. Unsaturated fats and saturated fats are due to the fatty acids. Okay, so it's either composed by saturated fatty acid or unsaturated fatty acids. So the basic structure of fatty acid is composed by carboxyl group and long hydrocarbon chain. So in hydrocarbon chain, it composed of many CH bond. CH bond is non-polar covalent bond. Okay. So the fatty acids are long and unbranched chain of hydrocarbon which consists of many CH bond and linked to carboxyl group at the end of each chain. So the carboxyl group, since it is carboxyl group or also known as carboxylic acid group, so it gives the acidic property for the fatty acids. Okay. And fatty acids are amphipathic compound because it consists of hydrophobic and hydrophilic, same as in the phospholipid structure. So hydrophilic structure is due to the carboxyl group, and the hydrophobic is due to the long hydrocarbon chain here. Okay. So again, this is the structure of fatty acids. The carboxyl group, which is hydrophilic, and the hydrocarbon chain, which is hydrophobic because it consists of many CH bond. As I said earlier, CH bond is non-polar. Okay, so we will look at the different types of fatty acids. Okay, so this is the saturated fatty acid because if you can see here, it has the carboxyl group and the long and unbranched hydrocarbon chain. But in this long and unbranched hydrocarbon chain, there is only single bond between carbon atom. There is no double bond, only single bond. So there is no chances for adding of any hydrogen atom. Okay. Then this is the unsaturated fatty acids. If you can see here, the unsaturated fatty acid consists at least one double bond between carbon atom. At least one double bond. So it can have one or more double bond between carbon atom. Okay. If it has one double bond, it's known or namely as monounsaturated. If it has more than one double bond, it's known as polyunsaturated double bond. So at the double bond, the structure will become kink, will form the kink structure, which means it bends. Okay, kink. So this is the example of saturated fatty acid which made up the saturated fat, and this is the example of unsaturated fatty acid which made up the unsaturated fat. So that's all. Thank you.